on Wellness Week Live. What's up, everybody? I'm DJ Anthony in New Jersey. Magnus here in Cali.
Hey, guys.
Hey, don't forget, like and subscribe, people. Fucking subscribe, okay? We need people. Let's do it. All right? So now, look, Magnus, now, by the way, we're not giving any medical advice. Always check with the healthcare professionals. Now, you know, it's funny, Magnus. You have people out there that are like, I am vegan. That's the superior way to live and eat. And you got people like, hey, I'm keto. Meat. Meat. That's the best way. And you know what? So let's go through what is better or what are the pros and cons and blah, 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 blah. Keto versus vegan here on Wellness Week Live. Okay, so Magnus, I guess we can kind of jump the shark here and show everybody our cards because you and I agree. Both vegan and keto, strictly speaking, are both suck. Both are not good for long, healthy lives. The human beings are not made to do extremes. We're made to have balance, and we know this for a fact because if you look at the blue zones in the world, that's Crete, Greece, that is southern Japan, and Loma Linda, California. These three places where the people live the longest, healthiest, happiest lives. They have balance. They have some meat. They have some vegetable. They have a little bit of carb. They have a lot of walking and connecting with family and friends, but their diet is balanced. It's not all vegan. It's not all keto. So when you hear people saying this shit, they really don't know. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about because blah, 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 blue zones. That's it. Game over.
Should we break it down? So let's start with vegan diet. So vegan diet, when we're talking about vegan diet, it's that you're basically avoiding all animal products, right? So
including fish or eggs.
Yeah, eggs, milk, cheese, any type of fish, meat, poultry, beef, whatever. No, nothing is happening. Not even butter, nothing like that, right? If we look at that first, it's very, very hard of getting the right amount of nutrients. And when people usually say that they're vegan and they're on a vegan diet, they usually end up eating a lot of processed food because it's Impossible Burger and it's this and that and we're still like drinking a lot of sugar stuff and all that, right? So because it comes down to meat is one of the most nutrient dense food on the planet. So, and if you're not getting the right amount of amino acids, which protein is, that's in meat, and it's very hard to stay healthy long term. You usually hear that a lot of vegan usually feel really, really good to start out with because going from a standard Western American diet, that is a lot of bad things, right? All of a sudden you start eating more fruit, you start eating more vegetables and things like that. Yeah, you are going to start feeling better because you're also cutting out a lot of the trash food, right? But then slowly but surely, over time, you will start to become nutrient deficient. There's I've met very, very few vegans that are able to do it correctly long term. So that's an easy, or that's the problem with it, I would say. Keto is basically based that you're eating most of your energy is coming from fat. So a high fat diet. It started with Atkins and then it evolved even more to the keto diet.
Right. All meat.
No, not just meat. You're eating a lot of butter. You're eating a lot of of course, you eat a lot of fatty cuts on food. You're cutting out most carb sources. You're supposed to eat, I think it's around under 10% comes from carb source of your energy. So basically the most is from fat. So yeah, you will drink coffee with butter in it. You have full cream. You eat a lot of fatty steaks or fish and so on. Usually people have a tendency to cut out fish also, so it becomes a lot of fat, basically.
Right. Yeah. Here's the funny thing. On both sides, you'll have idiots on both sides. They'll say, well, our early ancestors, what did they do? They ate meat and the fire and the cavemen. And then you'll see people say, no. Our early ancestors, before they understood how to cook meat, they were eating the branches. So everyone tries to cherry pick why their particular diet
but who
is
cares?
the best.
Anthony, like, who cares? We're talking about historical, like, and they did not. They were, most of them were starving because of it was hard to get enough food, right? So all this, like, looking back to it, what it comes down to is that you need to figure out as an individual what works for you, and remember that nothing works forever. And when you have that understanding, is that you have to do minor changes, but you still have to, like, figure out what you can eat. Are you sensitive to things? Okay, cut those out.
Right.
Are you allergic to things? Definitely cut those out. And then eat, like, trying to eat a somewhat of a balanced diet, and that
Right.
includes a lot of fruits and vegetables. You have your meats and fish. You have your eggs. You have your avocados, you have your butter, you have things like that. That is what actually is the most healthy diet there is, right?
Yeah. Again, and you can look at the blue zones in this world that have the longest, healthiest, happiest lives. Again, Southern Greece, Southern Japan, and Southern California. These people eat actually mostly fruits and vegetables with a little bit of meat and a lot of, water and natural, they do some wine in Europe, but
The thing I want to add to that, the blue zone, is that you need to look at the big picture as well too, not just focus on their diet. You need
of
to
course,
focus on how they're,
relationships,
and that they're out and
exercise.
about, like they're walking a lot and so on. So remember that just because you eat like a blue zone individual doesn't mean that you're living that type of
You have to
lifestyle.
live like it, right?
Yes,
Exercise,
yeah.
family and
So
friend connections, and
yeah. So and again, people want to make something that is quite complex so simple, but I
right,
just cut out one thing, or like, it again, it's such a simplified form. And yeah,
right,
I understand it. It's easy when there are few rules. But like the same thing with intermittent fasting and things like that. You have a rule, but long term, it's usually not
not a good idea.
sustainable.
Right.
And cutting things out completely, sooner or later you are going to revolt against yourself and your rules, and then all of a sudden you're back in your normal habits.
Right.
And that is what's important, like changing and actually sustainable changes that you can actually keep for a long time. It's the same thing, like we see people lose weight all the time, but
Right.
then they gain it back and gain it even worse. That is not a sustainable diet.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's something that you keep your weight off, that you
Mm.
actually do lifestyle changes. That's what's important.
And I agree. I think the other thing is people, especially nowadays with everybody on Ozempic and looking to lose weight,
Mm-hmm.
people, and we talked about this before, but people concentrate only on weight. Oh, if I lost weight, I'm healthy. Not necessarily, because we all know people who are heavier. What kind of weight are you holding? Is it lean muscle or is it fat? Because you could be 100 pounds, but be very unhealthy. Or you could be 200 pounds and be more healthy than someone who's 100 pounds, because the type of weight you're carrying, what does your blood work look like? So it's not. And again, so that's why people get into these diets of like, oh, I'm going to go keto because I want to lose weight. That's stupid.
And then the thing is, people are also like just from start, they're actually looking at it from the wrong way, because they're saying, I want to lose weight. It's not the weight that's the problem. It's the amount of fat that you carry in your body. So again, there's got to be physical activity, and there's got to be a sustainable, workable diet to keep your weight off. And again, like I don't know how I'm gonna, like, I have to repeat this basically every single time when we talk about nutrition or physical activity. You have to train like muscles, like, because it's the same thing, like people don't understand that still, like muscles are important to stay healthy.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, like looking at it, if we're gonna go back and talk again about like our ancestors, they constantly moved, and they were carrying things and so on. And we need to understand that, because if you have muscles, you're usually way better at when it comes to like insulin sensitivity, meaning that you can actually eat carbohydrates and things like that and not turn into fat straight away. You have muscles that you can actually eat more. So instead of like going on a starvation diet, you can actually still eat quite amount of food and forms of calories then, and still not gain weight. And also when you get older, because we're losing weight, basically, I should say losing muscles, after 35, 40, we start to see a decline basically every single year of muscle mass. And we also see that we're starting to do less and less activities. So it's a like a double whammy, negative double whammy. So again, I don't mind that people are doing like actually eating a vegan diet or a keto diet or anything like that, because it comes down to this. I'm getting bombarded by my wife if you hear any like text messages coming in, but it's like, okay,
she misses you.
Yeah. Oh no, she's out and about with her friends, so she's definitely not missing me. So she's having a great time.
Good
so
for her.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, no, it's so important. That's another thing, like so important that you go out and hang out with your friends and things like that, even if you're in a relationship. Okay, going back to it, it's like you learn a lot from going on these diets. You learn on like, okay, how does it feel of not eating carbs? How does it feel of not eating meat and things like that? How does it feel of eating more vegetables and fruit? A lot of these positive things we can bring into our sustainable diet down the road. So like having an experience or trying it out for 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever, to figure out what works and what doesn't work. I think that's a great idea. And I mean, again, people, don't be afraid of trying different things to find things that works for you, to get you whatever and get where you want to be, and that you're actually active and physical and healthy and all those things.
Yeah, get your blood work done too, to see like what is working, what's not, because feeling a certain way is one thing also, which is important, but take a look. Like for me, I'm trying to get my LDL cholesterol down, and that means I have to really consume more fiber and lay off the meats. So I don't eat a lot of meats, but that's relative. So now I'm really pulling back. I'm going a little bit more vegan. I still eat meats, fish, and all that, but I'm adding more fiber, more vegetables. So, you know, really kind of looking at yourself like an automobile, like you got to tweak, get the tune up going, and our bodies are machines. But yeah, so that's my take on this keto vegan, you know, debate out there. Is there anything else, Magnus, before we wrap up that you want to add to this?
No, I think it's important that we lift this up, like what the different like so-called fancy diets mean, and also what's the impact on it. Like I can tell you, like both of these, for instance, if you're trying to gain muscles, both of them are kind of bad. I would say that vegan diet is really, really bad when it comes to trying to pack on muscles. Keto is a little bit better, but you're lacking actually the carbs. So you need carbs to be able to build muscle as well too. So
it's energy,
you know,
instant energy, I should say.
Just a factor too. But again, people change too much focus on their body weight and actually feeling how they, or looking at how they feel and how they look instead, right? So like, again, people don't focus on what the scale says. Focus on how you feel, how you look, and so on. So
very good, Magnus, as always.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe, help us out. Thank you, everybody, and check back in for some more great content. Okay, I'm signing us off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.